What's up everyone, photographer Ronix from Ronix Photography, and today we are going to be doing skin retouching in Photoshop, and we're going to be using the amazing frequency separation technique in Photoshop, and we're also going to be color grading this beautiful image. And this photo, first of all, was taken by a photographer. Is called Abayomi, and I'm going to put his link in the description of this video so that you guys can check him out on his Instagram. He is an amazing photographer, and this image was part of his retouching challenge a while back. So we are going to be doing skin retouching on this image, and you can see the image already looks amazing. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. So let's click in and start retouching this image. And as usual, for my videos usual, I've been uploading 4 tutorials, but for this tutorial I'm going to be using actions. I'm going to be giving you guys the frequency separation action for free, and I'm also going to give you the global dodging action for free so that you can download and fasten your skin retouching in Photoshop. So the link is going to be in the description of this video. So enough of the talking, let's kick in and start retouching this image. And we're going to be using the mixer brush tool in Photoshop plus the lasso tool method of frequency separation. So let's start editing this beautiful image. So let's come, usually we start by duplicating the background layer by clicking Ctrl J on the keyboard, or you can just drag this and drop it right here to make a duplicate of that layer. So we are going to delete one layer right there. So we are going to come right here to the actions, and if at all you don't know how to import your actions in Photoshop, yeah, just come right here to window, then you can just come down to right here, sorry, to actions, and you come to this panel right here. You'll have added this right here, then come click right here and click load actions, and now you'll have to click or look for where your actions are saved, and you'll import them and they'll come right here like I do. So click on your frequency separation action and just click on the play icon, continue. And now for this image, remember, we make sure we slide the radius until we can see less of the skin texture right here. So make sure you choose an area that has so much texture, so that you can start blurring out the skin texture. Remember, right now we only want to kind of remain with the colors, so we are going to be using a radius of 10. So click OK, and now click continue. So we are done applying our frequency separation. So this is it. So as usual, click on your high frequency layer, and we are going to create a black and white layer on top of our high frequency layer. The reason for this, I've been talking about it for so long on this channel. So select the red channel and now darken it. So we want something to guide us when you are doing the mixing of the skin tones and blending the transitions together using a mixer brush tool. So just right click here and look for your mixer brush tool, and if you don't have it right here, you can right click under the brushes, you'll have your mixer brush tool. And as usual, for the settings, make sure it is clean and make sure this is checked. For the wetness, we are going to use a wetness of 10% because we want to regain so much skin texture for our model. And now the load is 75, the mix 90, and the flow 100. Make sure sample all layers is not checked, so come and select on your low frequency layer because it contains the skin tones and the colors. So we are going to be harmonizing the skin tones of our beautiful model. So we have our mixer brush tool, and you're going to zoom in a little bit. Make sure you don't zoom in completely because you may not see what you're doing clearly. So, and to increase or decrease your brush size, make sure you use the left and the right brackets on the keyboard. So, and when you're doing your mixing, make sure you mix within the areas of that particular place you're trying to mix. Make sure you mix the highlights alone, the midtones alone, and the shadows alone. That is what I'm trying to so let's do that. And I don't want this to be a long tutorial because this model really had a nice and flawless skin. Yeah, she had close to perfect skin, I should say. So yeah, and now the makeup artist also did a very very beautiful job on the brushes and everything. So the model and the makeup plus the photographer really did a nice job. So yeah, credit to them. So let's do. You can see I'm mixing the highlights alone, the midtones alone, and the shadows alone. And when you come to this area where they are transitioning, just blend that boundary. So make sure you just don't drag from the highlights to the shadows. So basically that is what we are doing. So we are making sure we remain within the borders or that particular area we are trying to blend. So let's do this quickly. So I don't want to take so long like my usual for tutorials I have been uploading onto this channel. So we are going to do African separation, and after that we are going to also color grade this beautiful image in Photoshop. So stick around, and as usual I usually share my secret to getting perfect skin texture in Photoshop, especially when you're using your frequency separation. So stick around so that you can get a share of that wonderful secret. And you should keep on turning this on and off to see the progress. You can see before after. That's the before and this is the after. So make sure you leave no area untouched because we are going in for that glamorous beautiful look. So let's blend this well without the black and white so that we can see which area has imperfect transition. So the black and white layer kind of just guides us. So and as you know, as usual, we are going to delete it because its use will have expired. So let's turn it on because we can't see the transitions here well. So you can see the difference right here, and make sure you're mixing on your low frequency layer. So just do that, mix and blend. So you can see, yeah, frequency separation when using a mixer brush is really really nice and powerful. So if at all you don't know how to do it, you should better learn because it saves time and it gives you those nice and perfect results at the end of the day. So make sure you learn about it. So you can see, let's check in for our before and after for uh, this image so far. So let's turn that off. So you can see the before after, you can see before after, you can see the changes right here. So come and select your black and white layer, and now let's delete that because we no longer need it. So come right here. Now we're going to apply the lasso tool method of frequency separation. So click on your lasso tool. This is the lasso tool. Make sure your feathering is between 18 and 20. So I'm going to be using 18 for this specific portrait. So make sure you are on your low frequency layer, and now let's zoom in because we want to make a selection on the skin area of our model. So let's select on that area that seems to have more skin texture. So let's choose this area and just select only the skin. Make sure you forbid all disease from selecting the hair and other facial structures. So come to filter and now come to blur and come to Gaussian blur. So you remember this radius we put. So before I can share, let me show you guys. If I drag this, you have to slide this until you are seeing a perfect skin texture. So you can see around 32. This is close to a natural skin texture. You can see that. So now remember we initially had a radius of 10. I will set that. So this radius that we first used, just multiply it by 3 and add 2 to that value you get. you get. So 10 by 3 for any radius you may have used when you playing your frequency separation action, just multiply it by 3 and add 2. So for this case we shall have 30 plus 2, that is 32. You can see it is the same result. So I did find out this on my own, so I discovered this. Sorry if I'm bragging, but yeah, that's the truth. So let's select and apply the effect on the rest of the skin. So let's, and when you're selecting, make sure you select according to that particular shape of the area you're trying to apply the effect. And if at all you apply the effect and it seems to be too much for your liking, just click Shift Control F. Yeah, Shift Control F to reduce on the opacity. You can see, you can reduce it like that. So as just showing you guys, just in case you can uh, want to reduce on the Gaussian blur effect on the portrait. So let's make a selection according to the shape. And if at all you're learning something and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe, because yeah, we need that little motivation when you subscribe or give us feedback if at all you learn something from this channel, because it keeps us going. Sorry, I keep on using us because yeah, it is me and you, it is not me alone. So it is me and you, so it is our channel, because without you guys this channel wouldn't be here and wouldn't be progressing at all. So it is our channel, us. So you can see how amazing frequency separation is if at all you really master it well. So you shouldn't rush and because you want to get nice results quickly. So let's see our progress so far. You can apply it on the rest of the skin, but I find this really nice and perfect. So let's apply it right here to kind of get rid of that. So you can see the before after. This image looks beautiful already before even we remove the blemishes. So let's kick in and start removing those simple blemishes. So I'll be using a spot healing tool to remove these blemishes. So let's just make sure you're on your high frequency layer or your texture layer and just dab over the blemish you want to get rid of. So, but you can see now we are doing less of the blemish removal simply because when we're using a Mr. Brush tool, we kind of flattened these blemishes. Yeah, so you can just also come to these stray hairs and yeah, dab over them to remove them. Yeah, so I think that is fine. You can see image is now beautiful. So before after. So what we are going to do right now, we are going to do a little bit of global dodging and burning to add more shape and dimension to this portrait. So I'm going to be giving you guys this frequency separation action and my global dodging and burning action. So this is my global dodging and burning action, so I'll just play it and it automatically creates for you the black and white layer. So you can just simply come and darken it a little bit more to see where to dodge and where to burn. So just double click here and you can pull down your reds. So first of all we are going to dodge. So when you're dodging, you enhance the highlights and you dodge the highlights, like on the nose area, those bright areas, and when you're burning, you burn the shadows, those dark areas. So it's like you're adding dimension to the portrait. Remember, when you're doing frequency separation, it kind of flattens the image. So you are now going to add shape or dimension to the image. So turn off your frequency separation layer to see where the initial highlights and shadows were in the portrait. So get your brush tool, make sure white is on the foreground because we are going to be painting on the black mask, and make sure the opacity right now is 10. So you're using an opacity of 10 and the flow 100%. So you're going to only paint over those areas with a highlight. So let's come on the chin area and Sorry about this. I'm out of space, but that doesn't matter. We have to keep on creating the tutorials. So we are going to paint over each and every area that initially had a highlight, so that is fine. Come to a band layer, make sure it is selected, and now, and when you're doing your dodging and banning, make sure you don't zoom in totally or completely on your image, because we want to dodge and ban the way someone is going to be looking at the image. So we have that there, and we are enhancing this the cheekbones for the model. So I think that is fine. Let's ban there. You don't have to go extreme with this. Yeah, so I think we are done with the dodging and banning. You can see a before after, before after. So let's delete this black and white layer. So right now let's do color grading for this image. So you're going to be using selective color. So click on selective color. So let's first of all enhance these blacks a little bit more. Come to the black channel and just drag it down to around 6. Then you're going to come to the red channel because we want to work on the skin tones. Let's add some cyan to the reds. I think that is fine. -10. So let's also add a little bit of yellows to warm up the image. I think that is fine. And now you're going to come to the gradient maps. Click on the gradient maps right there. Then click on this color. So just click on the color and you get this. So I'll be using Sapphire Antique, and if at all you don't have it, click on the gear-like icon and select photographic toning and click append. So you get all these. So I'm going to be using Sapphire Antique. So click OK. Come to the blending option, and I'm going to click or select soft light to add that warm feel. So I'm going to come to the opacity, and I'm going to reduce on the opacity. So I think that is really fine. So one last thing remaining is the eye whitening for the model, because we want them to pop a little bit. So I'm going to create a stamp visible layer of everything, like a screenshot for all we did, by clicking Shift Alt Control E on the keyboard, Shift Alternate Control E on the keyboard, and I'm going to duplicate this layer by clicking Control J. Come to filter, then come to camera raw filter. So that is it. So get your this brush right here, your adjustment brush, and now make sure the temperature is down to around -26. The tint is at 69. Then come to the highlights tool. Yeah, come to the highlights, and we are going to use 5. And come to the whites tool, and you're also going to put that at around 5, and leave the others at 0. And now come to the saturation and drop it all the way down. The reason for this is we want to remove the color from the eye, so that's why we turn the saturation down. So get your zoom tool and zoom into the eyes for the model, and get the brush again, and now just paint over only the white area of our model's eye. So just paint over only the white and only the white area. So this is frequency separation for you, and if at all you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, or give us feedback if at all it has been a helpful tutorial for you. So that is fine. So you're going to click OK, and now you can see this is the before after. You can see the eyes are really nice and popping. So this tutorial has been about frequency separation in Photoshop using a mixer brush tool, and we also used the lasso tool method. And now we did the color grading using selective color and the gradient maps in Photoshop, and we did the eye whitening in Camera Raw, and we used the adjustment brush in Photoshop. So let me group everything we have done. Control G to group them, so you can see before, after, before, after. So this image was taken by Nina. The link is going to be in the description of this video, and also the download link for the actions I use. That's the frequency separation and the global dodging and banding action, so that you guys can fasten your retouching process in Photoshop. I'm Ronix from Ronix Photography. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in yet another retouching tutorial. And something about someone asked me about how I do save my images, so just come right here. So let's try saving this image. Just come. I prefer to use export because I want to retain the colors. And now come to export as. So when you click export as, it is going to take a little while loading and everything. So let's see. I think we should wait for it to finish because I think for all my retouching tutorials I've not been showing you guys how I do save my images. So let's wait for this to load, and I don't know why my PC is really acting slow. So it is going to bring this, I should say, it is going to open this window, and when it does open this window it will take a little while to process. So when you want to get all your colors so that your image doesn't change after you have saved, or yeah, saved your image, make sure you check these two boxes right here. And when you do that, and also make sure you change this to JPEG. So that is how I do save my images in Photoshop. So make sure it is JPEG right here, and come right here and make sure this is all these two boxes are checked, and click export all. So when you click export all, it will bring for you where you would like to save your image. So just look for an area where you want to save your image. So let me save my image on desktop. So I'm going to name this bio tutorial. So I have to credit the photographer, so that is fine. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to click save. So make sure it is a JPEG, click save. So when you save, your image will already be saved in Photoshop. So thank you for watching. I'm Ronix from Ronix Photography. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in yet another tutorial on this channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Till next time.